the task of the modern educator is not to cut down jungles, but to irrigate deserts. Literature adds to reality. It does not simply describe it. A proud man is always looking down on things and people. And of course, as long as you are looking down, you cannot see something that is above you. Aim at heaven, and you will get earth thrown in. Aim at earth, and you get neither. Failures, repeated failures, are finger posts on the road to achievement. One fails forward toward success. Courage is not simply one of the virtues, but the form of every virtue at the testing point. Let's pray that the human race never escapes from earth spread, its iniquity elsewhere. We meet no ordinary people in our lives. Humans are amphibians, half spirit and half animal. As spirits they belong to the eternal world, but as animals they inhabit time. If you look for truth, you may find comfort in the end. If you look for comfort, you will not get either comfort or truth, only soft soap and wishful thinking to begin, and in the end, despair. We are not necessarily doubting that God will do the best for us. We are wondering how painful the best will turn out to be. Pain insists upon being attended to. God whispers to us in our pleasures, speaks in our consciences, but shouts in our pains. It is his megaphone to rouse a deaf world. You never know how much you really believe anything until its truth or falsehood becomes a matter of life and death to you. Atheism turns out to be too simple. If the whole universe has no meaning, we should never have found out that it has no meaning. Things never happen the same way twice. If we find ourselves with a desire that nothing in this world can satisfy, the most probable explanation is that we were made for another world. What you see and what you hear depends a great deal on where you are standing. It also depends on what sort of person you are. Friendship is unnecessary, like philosophy, like art. It has no survival value. Rather, it is one of those things which give value to survival. What draws people to be friends is that they see the same truth. They share it. The homemaker has the ultimate career. All other careers exist for one purpose only, and that is to support the ultimate career. Eating and reading are two pleasures that combine admirably. I can't imagine a man really enjoying a book and reading it only once. No book is really worth reading at the age of 10, which is not equally, and often far more, worth reading at the age of 50 and beyond. It is a good rule after reading a new book never to allow yourself another new one till you have read an old one in between. A children's story that can only be enjoyed by children is not a good children's story in the slightest. There are far, far better things ahead than any we leave behind. Nothing that you have not given away will ever be really yours. Love is not affectionate feeling, but a steady wish for the loved person's ultimate good, as far as it can be obtained. Love is something more stern and splendid than mere kindness. You can make anything by writing. Crying is all right in its way while it lasts, but you have to stop sooner or later, and then you still have to decide what to do. I have learned now that while those who speak about one's miseries usually hurt, those who keep silence hurt more. I'm on Aslan's side even if there isn't any Aslan to lead it. I'm going to live as like a Narnian as I can even if there isn't any Narnia. No one ever told me that grief felt so like fear. God allows us to experience the low points of life in order to teach us lessons that we could learn in no other way. I know now, Lord, why you utter no answer. You are yourself the answer. Before your face questions die away, what other answer would suffice? The great thing to remember is that though our feelings come and go, God's love for us does. He died not for men, but for each man. If each man had been the only man made, he would have done no less. Now the trouble about trying to make yourself stupider than you really are is that you very often succeed. The future is something which everyone reaches at the rate of 60 minutes an hour, whatever he does, whoever he is. Affection is responsible for 9/10 of whatever solid and durable happiness there is in our lives. The real problem is not why some pious, humble, believing people suffer, but why some do not. You can't get a cup of tea big enough or a book long enough to suit me.